this meeting, the next one, where it's gonna take significant rate increases. There is obviously infighting between the town and the authority that I'm sure you guys have seen recently. I think, as we discussed in the last meeting, a healthy level of separation where staff isn't working for both entities and the Iowa authority is truly independent is probably a good way to establish that. Beyond that, I think our attorney is the one who is very capable of identifying what is a conflict and what is a legal requirement and what is a breach, which is part of the reason why great efforts have been taken to make sure that the entire board isn't copied on emails. Board members are entitled to talk to their board attorney. That is why he is there.
Oh, I agree, to the board attorney.
Yeah.
But I would have to disagree with you too of the separation. Because really the ultimate goal is for the town, whether it's the town board, whether it's a KWWA, it's for the citizens of this town.
That is completely fine, but not the town board. That is a separate entity
Yeah, it is as of right now. That's how it was established.
because of a major breach back in the day.
Okay, and I wasn't here for that, obviously.
Well, none of us were.
None of us
Right.
watching.
But I think that's another thing that we're doing too, is we're going back on history of what's happened here before,
Yes,
and we're nitpicking that.
in what way?
For instance, maybe administration here that we're nitpicking for what was done years ago that the current administration wasn't even involved with.
So
Just from what I've seen in conversations or heard in conversations and through emails. I'm just trying to say, we need to stay on a professional basis here. We ain't going back on what president, you're the president. We're not going back on last year's or the year before, or 10 years ago.
right.
We're in a situation where we're at now.
We would have been fine if their legal counsel hadn't decided to find ways of taking over the water board. That's, you know, all we have is a guide, what the original agreement was between the town and who they borrowed the money from, which was the USDA. It's very specific in there what the town's role is and what the water board's role is. They're not to cross over. You're not to use the same legal counsel. The town's involvement is merely to swear in whoever we appoint to be on the board. After that, we're on our own on the rest of it. They cannot vote, or they tell us how to vote. They can't make decisions for us. It's stipulated in there that they can't sit on two boards. So we're pretty much on our own on that. At any time they try to influence us, it's a breach of the contract that they have with the people that loaned them the money. We are in a unique situation as we don't run for these offices. We're asked or appointed to be on these. So, their legal counsel brought up the fact that we do 4 and 2 year terms. If there's someone else that would like to take over this job, I would be more than happy to give it to them. But that hasn't stepped up. I think you were begged to be on this board, and the same way with you. You were approached and asked to be on this board. It wasn't one of those things where, you know, you were beaten down the door.
When I heard about it being open, I said, yeah, I'd like to be on the
Yeah,
board,
absolutely.
you know.
So, it's not, very comfortable right now, just simply because of the direction that the town has taken towards, the water board. We didn't ask for this, we didn't invite it, didn't need it. Simply happy with the way things are going. A year ago in January, George wrote them a letter and said, stop what you're doing. Guys, work this out. This doesn't need to be. We had a meeting without lawyers in July. We worked out an agreement. And no more than 2 months later, in this month, in this year, here they come again. Still didn't need it, still didn't want it. Would have been just perfectly fine the way things were going. But some very derogatory things were said in the February meeting, in the town board meeting, that weren't called for, but they were not necessary. We did not do anything to stir that or rile anybody up. So we've had to take appropriate action to save this water board. If we didn't, they would have taken over and then breached their agreement with the USDA. What we're trying to do is keep these two entities separate. That's all we're trying to do. As far as anything else, as far as raising the rates, it's a necessary evil. We don't have a choice. We just get $17,000 on the sewer plant. We wanted to, but we had to try to stay legal and do things the appropriate way. Is he high? Absolutely he's high. But we have to stay out of hot water. Now, I mean, you guys came on and it's been a can of worms and it's not been fun or easy. Believe me, I don't relish coming to these meetings because it's one thing after another. I'd much rather go serve pancake breakfast and be the only one in that dining room than try to, straighten out this mess. So both of you guys have a lot to catch up to do. So we'll try to get through this in a professional way. And anytime you guys have a question, please ask. Because if you're in the dark, you don't need to be.
Oh, yeah, I am.
So. And as far as the emails, I was coached by legal counsel. You don't do a group email, you do them single. So I'm in the middle of working my full-time job and I'm trying to get you guys these emails so you're well informed. I'm standing on top of a truck, probably 15, 20 feet off the ground, emailing each one of you guys. So, my boss has been lenient and understanding, but, this is not what this was supposed to be about. When I first came on this board, they said you may have to only meet 3 or 4 times a year. We tried that, it lasted about a year. So we've been through 4 town administrators. And I can't tell you how many different people have been sat on the town board, how many people have sat on this board, come and gone. Some of them don't last a year, just because they just have better things to do. So I appreciate your guys' time, I really do. I appreciate your guys' input, because it's not a board if you guys can't voice your opinion. So, all right, shall we try again? All right, we have to make some changes to the agenda. Legal counsel, once again, told us what we were doing wrong, and how we have to go about raising the rate. Teresa, would you please start that?
So under, I would think under new business. Okay. Says consider a resolution for a fee increase. Okay. Get to the end of water and sewer rate increases and take the rest of that out to January. We do have to set a date today for 30-day notice, so please leave that sentence in. Okay. As we will bring it up in the 30-day notice of what we're gonna do.
So I'm taking out the 9% through January.
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
Okay.
Let's,
I have just that he said, take that out.
okay,
We already have it on that one, but this is the new business, so we wanna make sure going forward it's correct.
Okay.
Kim, did you want to, put in the, where's my paper book, about the, re-amended water?
We can do it on the next agenda, the
Okay,
next meeting.
All right. I need to, get Brett and Laurel up to speed. They need to see the original and also see the, revised. And also the revised after the revised.
Wonderful.
So
Excuse me, what are we talking about?
he's a readvised, water agreement. You guys need to have the original, so you know what you're reading,
Right,
and then the readvised, so you can compare the two and see the difference in numbers and stuff.
Our original well agreement
right,
that we signed,
right.
he's
The
made,
Kiowa,
he's made some revisions to it, and we'd like for us to look it over at his revisions.
okay,
So Eric is saying, we need to give you a copy of the original that
You
we
need to have
signed.
time to look it over and read it.
and the revised one
Yes.
too?
Yes.
Okay,
We will get those to you so you can look them over before the next meeting.
okay.
Anybody else have anything they need to add to the agenda?
I have a question. Was it meant to have Town of Kiowa overreach on KWWA authority under old and new business?
I did that because I wanted the letters attached in this packet,
Okay.
and that's why I put it in there.
Actually, I
Under
think
both
we
areas?
Do you want to take it out?
probably should strike, D under old business, just strike it totally out.
Under old B, just strike it out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Do we need a percentage after the half?
Well, we can only talk about that at our, public hearing,
We'll make sure there's a percentage line there.
so.
okay, well, we're striking that one out for now.
On old business.
Right, okay.
Do you see anything else that needs to be?
I don't know if this, I should put it down, but we do need an audit for our budget. Since we have a
Okay.
USDA bond, we need to set up for an audit.
It's already been scheduled.
Is it?
They're scheduled together the same week. And it's in June, I believe. I can send you the actual date. He scheduled that right on.
Ronnie Farmer did? Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
the same time every year. I have that date on it. I'll email it to you.
Am I-
know when it's scheduled.
Just putting that on the next. Am I adding that? Not adding that? What am I doing?
I just want to make sure I follow through on it.
So no need for discussion this evening.
Okay.
Yep, yes.
Are we talking new business yet?
Sorry?
Are we talking new business?
Doesn't matter, it's an agenda, we're talking the agenda.
Right now, we're just fixing things
Oh, fixing
before it gets
things. Okay,
approved.
all right, okay.
So, but I'm not, Teresa, I'm not adding anything about the, okay, all right.
Okay. We just
Just want to make sure before I.
Number in there.
Okay, so right now I have, in old business, I have removed B. And in new business, under A, I've removed the 9% through January.
Okay.
Line, correct?
Maybe on A, after set date for 30-day notice for public comment, after publication,
Okay,
because we have to publish this in the
Okay.
Ranchland News.
okay. So add after publication,
Please.
okay? Okay. Any
Anybody
other
else have any,
change?
anything to alter? Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the, corrections.
So moved.
Want to make a second?
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Has anybody had a chance to look over the minutes for March 12th?
Yes.
Are there any corrections or additions to it?
What I'm looking at, I think I have some, yeah. A minute. There's so much paper this time. Number C, about the town of Kiowa overreach, that competitive bid process. I'm confused of why that the publication was put in the Ranchland News ahead of us voting on this or even, it's like, that was done like, I wanna say, cart for the horse.
Yeah.
Can you tell me why we actually published that?
We are entertaining entities or businesses so that, we can keep everything in line.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a little quick.
Cause I thought we had to give the notice first to the town.
Yes.
The 90-day notice. Is that
Yeah.
why we're doing the 90-day notice with no?
I think we're talking about a couple of different things.
Okay, I'm sorry.
One is action on the contract with the town, with the
Yes.
town staff management. And then two is collecting competitive bids to compare that against.
Right, but I thought we had to give notice to the town first.
We do not.
We didn't?
So we can get the competitive bids at any point during this time.
Prior to even notifying the town officially?
Because in a bad situation, we could terminate with the town and then not get anyone to bid for their replacement. So we wouldn't want to make an action like that.
Huh, but I just thought we had to do it in a certain order that protocol.
Mhm.
So
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just confused why it was published first and we haven't even given notice to the town, that 90 days notice that we're going to terminate them.
well, my preference would be to know what we're comparing that to.
And the publication is the only way we could have found that out. I thought maybe you had mentioned that you knew certain companies,
So
that you could have just contacted them or something.
Well, to be fair, since we are a public entity,
Okay,
it has to go out to bid.
okay.
And it also has to be in, what's the word I'm looking for?
Published.
In the Ranchland News.
Yes.
Right.
It has to be
I saw that in the
advertised.
mention.
Yeah. So,
I'm assuming you worked with George on the process of all that,
yes, yes.
and George being our legal counsel.
Okay.
He suggested that we publish it right away.
Yes, because, we need to have something in that's up to speed when, if that's what we vote to do is separate from the town as far as administrative duties.
I thought that's what the 90 days was for.
So we have two options ahead of us in terms of terminating the agreement with the town, 10-day for cause or 90-day without cause.
Right, and we chose the 90
90
days
days.
without, but still, I was saying that we should have sent, personally, that we should have sent them, given them the notice that we're going to terminate them and they have 90 days, I mean, that gives us 90 days to publish and get bids, I would think, that would be
Okay.
the,
So on the
Logic there.
agenda, that will be voted on tonight,
In 90 days.
the 90 days.
the 90 days,
Mhm.
okay. Alright,
So are
They will also be given a certified letter and also emails.
being notified, that they're being terminated in 90 days.
Yes, if that is what we decide to do
Oh, okay, okay,
in a vote.
okay,
So are there any changes to the minute?
Okay, any other questions about the minutes?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Teresa, you seconded?
I did it. Okay.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
All right, so you can sign that one copy and give it to me.
I'm sorry?
Sign that one copy of the minutes and give it to you. Please. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Profit and loss report.
There's some items highlighted on there, you'll also see they say deleted next to them. Last month I had to write checks from the town to Kiowa Water and Wastewater and from Kiowa Water and Wastewater back to the town. Because I accidentally paid some bills outside of what we had agreed to on the operating agreement, so to make that right on both sides, I had to cut checks back and forth. Well,
In other words, you needed a paper trail.
I need a paper trail and I need to reapply them where I cut them from. However, those line items were deleted because those are no longer items that you're paying individually or from, you're paying it through the operating agreement, so you're one payment a month. So I have to, activate those accounts again to apply those appropriately and then deactivate them again. So that will go away on next week's.
Okay.
Financials.
You follow all that, Teresa?
I did,
Okay,
again.
okay.
I was wondering, do you have a balance sheet that we can?
I'm sure that the software offers that, and I could definitely see if it does, if it comes together.
Anything else? Anybody else have any questions? Nope, all right. Is Paul available?
He is.
Is that you, Paul?
Yes, it is.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Enlighten us on the $17,000 we just paid.
Was that all of McDonald Farms?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was only 12,000.
It's what?
12,000.
Oh, it's only 12?
Yes.
Well, that's good news in itself.
Well, that's good. So the water system is working great. The wastewater system, we did fix the influent valve completely. The 12,000 was for them to clean out the basin so that velocity could come in and cut out the valve without all of the contents of the basin coming back into the pit while they were trying to work. So that was done. The valve has been replaced. The basin is back online now, and we were just getting the bugs back into their normal routine.
You're all caught up with the water meters, is that correct?
Yeah, we just have to install another, I think 100, and then we're done.
Wow.
And then we're still waiting on the, as far as I know, we're still waiting on the meter reading program from Neptune.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll talk about that here in just a little bit.
okay. Paul, how did we only manage to lose 9.77% water? That's-
We're doing really. Yeah, everything's working great. That auto dollar hasn't called us out in a while. So
Yeah,
the weather is nicely.
Behaving.
So, Paul, to stay on that, that is fantastic. But before problems
Yes,
with that, we were still losing a hell of a lot more than that, weren't we?
oh, yeah.
Well, because there was quite a bit leaking out because the auto dialer wasn't letting everybody know. So we were losing like 800,000 gallons
Right.
just from the tank.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so now we're not, yay,
That's fantastic.
yes.
Paul, is that phone line worked a couple times, or is it everything been good with that?
No, it's actually worked, and we had to come out a couple of times in the previous month to get out here and shut off everything. So the tank overflowed a little bit, but it only overflowed like, I don't know, 30,000 gallons by the time we got out here and stopped everything.
What was your response time? How long did it take you?
About 45 minutes, I think.
You're the closest, or you got someone else closer?
I am the closest. And that 45 minutes, that included actually getting out here and then just stopping the water.
Uh-huh. Okay. Was there any way of preventing that, or were you at the mercy of that phone line?
Yeah, no, so that only happens if there's an issue at the water tank, and usually it's from the weather where it freezes the controls or messes with the solar panel. So it's usually only during the winter that we have these issues, but the auto dialer will make it a lot less waste.
Is there a way of solving this wintertime problem?
I don't think so. I mean, the only other thing we could do is try and insulate the inside where the level sensor is. But if there is an upset in there, it just washes all of that away and ruins it. But we can replace it every time. And then the solar panel outside, that's just out in the weather, so we don't really have too much control over that one, unfortunately.
So that's what we were just talking about.
Paul, the fire department decided they didn't want to flush, hydrants for free.
It's not.
What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we can do it. I told Kim it would be, I think I told her $2,300 for us to go through and do what the fire department was doing.
Okay. Who do you think does a better job, you or them?
Oh, I think that we will. They do a great job, but obviously if they don't want to do it anymore, I don't think we have a choice.
Okay. When you flush a hydrant, tell me what is the purpose behind that and why do we do that? I see other municipalities do that. Explain that, please.
Yeah, so flushing the hydrant does two things. It helps to make sure that the hydrant operates correctly, and it also helps get rid of all the excuse me, get rid of any sediment that settles out in the water mains.
Okay.
So and in Colorado, a lot of people have iron and manganese, and that's mostly what settles in the water mains, and then that has to be flushed out. Otherwise, it gets to the customers, and then they don't like it, and they start complaining, and just causes a lot of headache.
You meter that water as you're kicking out the valve, don't you?
We can meter it. We don't normally, but we can do that. We can just put the meter on the hydrant before we start flushing.
Do you think that would help as far as metering our water loss for that month?
I think, yeah, absolutely.
When do you think you want to start doing that?
We could we could start this summer. We have a couple other districts we're going to be doing in April, so then right after that we could start Kiowa.
Okay, is that something that we'll need to do a notice to the citizens so they know?
Yeah, we want to give a notice so that if anything does stir up, nobody's doing washing their laundry, because
Okay.
if they laundry, it'll turn their clothes red, and then they'll have to put in a reagent in there to clean off all that rust off their all their clothes.
Is that what type of notice? I've seen some where it's nothing more than they just stick a deal in the ground, sort of like a for sale sign, says that we're flushing hydrants. Is that
Yeah,
something?
well, we can put 3 signs in the town, one at
Mhm.
each entrance into the town, to let people know when we're going to flush
Okay,
and for how long.
okay. Right, it doesn't need to be something in the newspaper or anything like that.
It does not need to be. You could always include something in the water bill if you wanted to, but otherwise we would just post a sign at the entrances coming into town just to let everybody know. And we would post that prior to even starting, like a few days before we start.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to ask Paul? You good? Paul, is there anything else you'd like to add or talk about?
Nope. I think we're good. We will be purchasing some more meters, obviously, to finish up.
Sure.
And there'll be some big meters for the Yuma Loop apartments, the Justice Center, and for the schools. So there'll be
Mhm. Okay. Well, I think we're done. Paul, thank you for your time. I appreciate it and all your information.
Paul, if you could stick on for just one more minute, but it's not really related to your report. It looks like the difference between system totals between February and March. The average uses for the active meters, that's probably just a calc on. It looks to be a simple calc. Is there a way that we can improve that so we can identify if there's a one-off anomaly like this water tank overflow?
Oh.
Do you guys see what I'm saying? In February, 371, 5,000, 370 in March for 3,000. If we can get a mean on the residential meters or an average of anyone who's using less than, I don't know, the first 5 tier groups, something like that, just so we have another comparison on there, so we can start to pick off these anomalies when it's not just an average of the home.
Yeah, we can put something in there that kind of says if it's over a certain amount of water that we want to go look at it, make sure it's not a leak.
Okay.
Yeah, we do that when he reads the meters too, if we see something that's crazy,
Mhm.
like that lady that was over a buttload of, then he went and checked and found the leak. Same
Right.
thing with the bar,
Right.
when he read the meter and went, wow, wow. So
Yeah.
that's when they went and found that toilet leak.
Wonderful.
Usually when he reads them, if there's a big anomaly and I go through and go, whoa, occasionally I'll be like, hey, did you check this one? And he'll say, yeah, I did, or no, I didn't. Then he check it. So if we see something that's crazy
Right.
beyond normal,
Anything else?
I mean, I'll say this again. So in the chart, we think that the tank's been overflowing for years.
Just
There've been several times,
winters.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
exactly.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
That's why I asked him if there's a way we could winterize it. So that we could reduce our loss.
Okay.
All right. Saucer, I think you're up.
Okay, well, we've kind of picked apart that piece, so, but yeah, yes, water loss way down, so that makes us happy. This month, there was, 29,500 gallons of bulk water used. That is probably going to ramp up next month because Farmers State Bank, they'll be going through the planning committee and town approval in May, to start construction. So I'm pretty sure bulk water will go up because they'll be using bulk water for their stuff. And then as summer construction starts to, it'll probably go up. So, that's something to keep in mind for bulk water as we watch that. I sent 4 shut-off notices and 7 warning letters out this month. 1 shut-off customer and 1 warning letter have already taken care of their outstanding bills. I had another one call, leave a message this morning, so we will deal with that tomorrow. They have till the 25th to take care of their balance, or they'll be shut off on the 29th, so hopefully everybody will
Okay.
get everything taken care of. As far as, and you guys saw the chart, so you probably do that. Okay, as far as Neptune, so I have been talking to Neptune, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. To try and get this set up, so we have the files are all meshed and okay, so we're good there. Basically, they were hoping to get everything functional before the meter reads next week, but it's just, they are like crazy and running, so they have not been able to quite get here. And they need to do training, how to use it, how to get the system to talk. One piece, so it should be good for May. We should be up and running for May. One thing they did not mention, or we missed it, when I was talking to him, getting clarification, is that this piece is just the reader. And you need to have, and I highlight it, you need to have either an iOS or Android compatible tablet, basically, to be with it.
So in other words, it reads it, sends it to.
The tablet, yes. And it has to be iOS or Android. It doesn't read to like Microsoft, so it has to be one of those. And then what happens is those two talk. And so Paul would have both the reader and the tablet with him. And then he would bring the tablet into me. I would upload the information or download it into my computer, and then I would upload it into the RVS system. And then we would be good to go. So it'd be seamless, the one into the other. So what will happen is then, so you will need to purchase a tablet. I did go on to both Walmart and Amazon just to look at some very basic Android tablets. No frills, nothing crazy. Most of them are about $100.
Oh,
Oh, that's.
So, these 2 particular ones did come with a keyboard, because I thought, well, depending, keyboard might make it easier to download, upload. But basically then the information would switch over from like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, so it would just, so that is something that you will need to consider to purchase is a tablet of some kind. So I did try to do some comparisons.
How
to
soon
guys
you need that tablet or that Android?
We would need the tablet before we can, well, sooner the better, just because we'd need it for training purposes to make sure Paul and I know exactly how to download, upload, et cetera. So, so that is something for you to review and consider.
Okay.
So I was trying to make it as easy as possible.
Does anybody have thoughts or feelings or motions or no motions or?
Shall we make a motion to go ahead and approve one and get it
Yes.
going?
Yes.
I make a motion, to approve, I would make a motion to approve the 13, Android 13. As it looks like it comes with a little bit more storage than the 10-inch tablet.
Okay, so we're talking the Amazon one, I guess? Yes, the 13.
For $109.99.
Okay.
It was our RSD for training purposes and
Okay.
reading of meters.
Need a second. Okay.
Okay,
Is there any more discussion on the motion?
Brett, you seconded it?
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Okay. I will get it done.
Public
Okay.
comment.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, we have.
Have the tax fees been paid for the 652 Chippewa?
No, he is sending those over. He came and paid the impact fees and he was gonna drop off the tap fees this week. So, and then I'm, before farmers, they still have to come pay their tap fees also, but they haven't paid their building application fees yet either. So, since they haven't been approved yet. So,
You know what size tap they are going
they are gonna do a 1.5 inch.
for a bank?
Yes, he normally likes to do 1.25, but we don't offer 1.25. We offer 1 or 1.5, so he was gonna go with 1.5.
Wow,
That's what he was gonna do
cool.
as far as, unless he's changed up, but we will find that out when they make their presentation at the planning.
Okay.
So, but at this time, yes, they're planning on a 1.5 inch. So. You're welcome.
Public comment.
Okay, so, I have Polly Ellers.
I don't think I have anything. It was very interesting to listen to this.
Okay. Richard, would you like to make a public comment?
Not this evening, thank you.
Okay, all right. Diana Engstrom, would you like to make a comment? Diana?
She's right here.
Yeah, I'm,
Oh,
it's,
so, oh,
my husband's watching it,
oh,
so.
sorry, I
Yeah,
was there.
should have spoken.
No, that's okay. No, okay. Is there anybody who didn't sign up that wanted to make a public comment?
I have a question. Does that count? As a.
You're a
You can-
citizen.
Yeah, you can ask a question, but they do not have to respond. You can,
It's just about the water meters.
go ahead, stand up and introduce yourself.
I'm Tammy Hart and I live here in Kiowa. I was just wondering how the water meters are read. Because I rent and my landlady called me and said that my water bill was $100 more than the previous month. And my son lives with me, but he travels and he's gone 2 weeks home a week, gone 2 weeks home a week, so I'm basically home by myself. So there's really no possible way for my water bill to increase
Can I ask
$100 more.
your address?
I'm over here in, the blue townhouses. So it's 623 County Road 45.
Paul, can you hear that?
Yes. So the townhomes have 1 meter. And then, so everybody in that one building has 1 meter, and then I think the bill is split.
Yeah, it should be. Okay,
So I think I would talk to your landlord.
what
Yeah.
unit are you in?
Hey.
A.
She was asking me because she said that my specific unit was $100 more than the month before, but
I
it's.
don't know how they could meter it, it's
Okay.
only 1 meter.
Well, that's what I was wondering if there was, how that was done, because that's how it was in Parker.
Yeah, it should be just 1 meter for your whole building,
Okay, thank you.
but,
Did that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay. Alright,
Anybody else?
any other public comment? Okay, and that's it.
Old business. Rules and regulations for sewer main. Paul,
Yes,
can you, address the rules and regulations for the sewer main?
I am not sure if we agreed on it. I think the option was that there was supposed to be a rule written that says where the homeowner's responsible starts and where the district ends. Usually that is at the main where they tap into the main. The town would own the main and the customer would own the service line from the main all the way to their property or to their house.
Anybody have any questions on that?
You have that in writing? I can't remember.
I don't know that we do.
We
When was
don't,
that?
the board is gonna have to vote that's acceptable, and then we can put it in writing.
Okay. Would someone like to make that into a motion?
So we put that in a motion, put it in writing, or approve it subject to legal review. You guys wanna do this
It
again?
might be better to, think about it for 30 days or at our next meeting and then
Yeah.
Okay, make a major decision, yeah.
make a
Okay.
decision.
So table that one till the next meeting.
Let's do a motion that, we are going to revisit this the next meeting.
Okay.
And if there's any feedback either from Paul or, any of the members of this board, then we will make that into a, motion.
Okay.
So,
I'll second it.
okay.
Okay.
So the motion is, if you'll read it back to me.
The motion is that we are going to revisit next meeting. And based on a statement that gets made from about whose responsibility is. Based on the idea that from the main out would be the towns or the water boards, and from the main in would be the homeowners.
Is that acceptable?
And we'll get it clarified.
All right,
Paul and I can work on that.
okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is passed.
Okay,
Okay, the next one. We have the revamped, or no. Yeah, we have pretty much deleted B.
yes.
Okay, C, Town of Kiowa overreach on Kiowa KWWA authority. This is probably where we are, under the gun.
Well, you have it in both old and new.
Yeah.
So
So-
I want to take it out of.
Which one do you want to take it out of?
Or you
It's
can
kinda-
just combine
It's
it.
kind of in the past. I just wanted the attachments
Okay.
to this package added.
Yeah.
So.
So just for further reference, future reference, it could be kept under old business. You're just discussing it again and, expanding on
Okay,
that discussion
okay,
rather than bringing it up on the new business again.
so we'll just keep it under the old. And I will put expanded, added attachments.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Mhm.
We can do that.
And then-
Find it.
So we can take it out of new business.
Yep,
Okay.
I just put a check mark that says,
Okay.
and I did an arrow. Says expanded with added attachments under old business.
Okay. Discussion. on C. Any thoughts? None?
I don't. It was last month.
Sorry,
I said I don't, that was last month.
okay,
Moving on.
all right.
Do you?
We're wanting to discuss about. Clarify with me what you're wanting us to discuss.
Well, thoughts on the town overreach on the KWWA authority? I just saw that letter from George that was written last year. No, I can't find it. Here it is. You have this, if you have it. Everybody has it in their packet.
It's email.
I think I hit on it
Yes.
earlier when we, before. Is there any thoughts on that on itself, on its merits? Are there any questions about what he had to say?
And that one's from, I think, January of 23. Yeah.
Sure. Got some emails. All right, well, if not, we'll move on. At this time, we're looking at competitive bid process for replacing management. Now then, Laurel had questioned why we were putting the horse or the cart before the horse. I think it was explained. Is there any more thoughts on that?
Well, can you reiterate again, Tim, what you had said? I'm sorry. About
Sure.
why you did that way?
I think the short answer is that's how council guided us.
Oh,
So that was George telling us which process to follow. A little additional color is I have already received one estimate. It's not a firm bid. It's an hourly rate. For replacement service, it's a couple grand less per month than the current. And it's a group that I'm involved with on another project. I know them to be competent, credible, and they've drilled a number of wells. They've overseen drillers on a number of wells in Elbert County in the last year or two.
now, we're not replacing Paul, we're just replacing
Executive
town
management.
Iowa management, the administration
Yes.
for doing the billing and all that type of work.
Yes, effectively making the board's life easier, doing the job of staff, which is the day-to-day management of the authority.
So have you considered what else we're losing if we technically fire the town of Kiowa?
So
We're not going to have a place to have meetings, we're not going to have an office per se, that's all considered,
uh,
that's cost effective?
this is completely for us to discuss. I'm just saying that we do have, call it a backup in the event we do move forward with terminating the town.
So as of right now, we're looking just to get bids, and then we'll discuss that further.
So, well, there is a competitive bid process in old business. And then we have on our new business, both that as well as the termination for us to discuss at that point in time too.
I mean, has that been considered when we first started this process? About that we're going to lose the building, we're not gonna have that, we're not gonna have an office out here, where we're not, how, is this all gonna be done remotely per se?
So that is all for us to discuss and go back and forth on. There's no decisions have been made yet.
Right, I understand that, but I mean, is any thought figured out ahead of time that how much that's gonna cost?
So we can definitely discuss that now or later on whenever we get into whether or not we terminate.
Well, I think we've already started the process by putting those bids out there, so it isn't like, we can't back up. I mean, you already started that part of it, but, the notice hasn't been given, the 90-day notice yet.
Correct.
And is that going to be done tonight or something? Okay, we're gonna vote on that.
Yes.
Okay, but so I'm just curious because it seems that for what was $5,500 or 6,000 a month, something like that? 5,500 a month. That's a very reasonable price for what they're providing here. Do you charge for the meeting time here and everything too? Or not? No, see, that's part of it. That's what I'm thinking about is all these extra amenities that we have now going on, that if you switch to another consultant or what do you wanna call it, those things have to all be considered about the extra cost for finding a building, renting it out, keeping it going and having somebody here, you know, to be a customer service. Because a lot of people pay bills in person, or if you're having a question, you know, sometimes you can't get through to people on phones.
I completely understand.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember, think about those kind of things that we're being provided. That isn't necessarily brought up as a cost or it's a benefit.
Well, back to your previous point, hopefully we're all in this together for the benefit of the citizens. And the town is not being vindictive on the use of the public building. Beyond that, we also have the county fairgrounds as well as some other options within town that seem as though they would be donated at no cost.
Also, the fire department always has a room that.
But I mean, what about the normal everyday business? That's what I'm thinking about too. You know, like they're here 4 days a week or, you know, time. People can walk in and out, people can, you know, voice their opinions or their complaints or whatever. Whereas if you have a consulting firm that is remotely run, except for maybe the meetings we have once a month, that really cuts away the customer service, you know, and that's a big part of this town.
So I know two of the groups who are interested in bidding work on Fridays and answer calls after hours as well. So I think we will have a greater level of service than we do now if the authority chose to go with one of those two groups.
The other thing is to look at, your electricity and your, gas. You don't see any of them, you call them, or you email them.
Right, but this is a town where there's people that there are a lot of elderly people living here, and they pay bills in person, with cash or whatever, or you need to talk to somebody. And if that is not available, there's no, basically, what I wanna say, person
But
to
they still
person.
pay their electric bill and they still pay their gas bill.
Yeah, but it's a struggle sometimes, you know, to get in.
I'm just pointing out that,
Yes.
you know,
No, I know.
there's bigger entities and they're finding a way to around.
Right.
They don't have, you talk to an automated person before you ever talk to a real person.
Right,
Okay,
but I'm just thinking about this very small town that,
well,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, is it your gas bill, your electric bill?
well, but what, when they have a problem?
I
They
don't,
don't-
there's a number you call.
If you can get,
Well,
I'm sorry.
yeah,
but that's-
I understand
that's
your
life.
concern,
Yeah,
but,
okay, I'm
but if you
concerned.
stop and think about it, who you call if you were in town and had, Black Hills Energy? You call a number.
I haven't had any good luck getting hold of them for
There you go.
months.
Okay. All
They
right.
won't call me back.
Sure.
Okay.
So,
I just was thinking about those kind of things.
I understand and sympathize. Okay, so. The only thing that we can do tonight is, for the, A, under new business, is consider the resolution and, revise, fee schedule. If we publish this tomorrow, it won't go out tomorrow. What's the earliest it would go out?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday. Okay, which is, what's the date on that?
The 11th, I think.
Alright, so
I see you brought your calendar.
I did, so it'll go out on the 21st,
Okay,
be published.
so at that time, the earliest we could have a public hearing would be the 21st of May. Or, yes, May, you're in the wrong month.
So it'll go out next week,
So the 18th.
and so we would be
Turn the page, girl.
Yeah.
The numbers are bigger, I can see them.
Okay.
So the 18th, so the earliest we could have one would be the 20th, the 20th. That would be the earliest that we could have a public hearing, which is the Monday. Is that something you guys want to do? Let's have a public hearing on Monday,
Monday, May 20th,
May 20th.
Oh,
I can accommodate.
what time?
6 o'clock.
So, in the evening? Okay.
So that's this notice, but
No.
change the date.
Yeah, I'll go in and change the date.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put the town hall in there. And will somebody be here for a Zoom? In case
We're
somebody,
gonna have to check our calendars, I don't.
Yeah,
know.
I'll have to
This is the first
see.
We're being approached with this, nobody
Okay.
considered discussing it with the town.
Yeah, we'll have to see what our schedules look like. And then each one, okay.
right, okay, and then,
Okay, is everybody available?
I am,
So we have to make sure they're available. That's the most important, to have a meeting.
Well,
I
if
mean,
they're not available, we'll have to come up with a different place to meet. Of course, we paid for half of this building, so
right,
we should have access to this building.
but if we're putting it into public, we gotta know where it's going, if we're giving them notice by
Right.
next Thursday.
Would you guys mind checking your calendars and seeing if that works?
I'll have to let you know, I'm not, we can't do it right this second.
Yeah, we'll look in the morning.
Okay. So that way, before we publish it.
Um. So if not, does that mean we have to do another meeting to accommodate them looking at their calendars?
Well, we'll have to, come up with an alternate, date.
I mean, she hasn't fixed this anyway, so.
yeah, I have to fix the date.
Because it's wrong.
But it won't be going out tomorrow anyway, so it
No.
won't go out until Thursday.
It won't go out till next Thursday
Yeah,
anyway.
I have to have it in by Tuesday, correct?
Monday.
Monday.
Oh,
Mhm.
Monday.
Monday.
Do we have a backup date to the reserve?
What would be the next public meeting, the next regular meeting, right after that?
You just move
What
it.
about
Yeah.
the 21st, which is Tuesday?
Still have to look on the calendar.
I will note that when you're referring to your operating agreement, the operating agreement stipulates that we make ourselves available in monthly regularly scheduled meetings. And that any changes in that schedule have to be conferred with us first, because we're only obligated to the monthly meeting. And we cannot leave a municipal building open to anybody other than staff because of liability issues. That's what limits the ability for anybody else to come into this building and use it outside the purview of the staff that work there.
So, could you
So-
check your calendar?
Yes,
for that
Yeah,
week?
yeah,
And I
we'll
will
look.
get ahold of you
Absolutely.
tomorrow. Okay,
And as soon as we get in the morning,
okay.
we will do that,
Forward.
and I will email you.
Yeah,
what
Yeah,
we
we'll look
find.
first thing.
All right.
You should prove that.
I think we discussed, C pretty much, unless there's something else somebody would like to add to that. No? Sure. Laurel, you're good? All right, let's go to D. 90-day letter termination operating agreement with the town of Kiowa. At this time, I would entertain some discussion, some thoughts.
I have some thoughts about the format that this letter's in.
Okay,
Okay, first of all, it's not on KWWA letterhead.
okay,
And it does not have who's going to be signing it. if you're gonna be signing it, your name's not on here, what the title is, that needs to be on there too. And this is going to be,
It won't be April 9th.
it'll be what date's gonna be then?
It will be April 10th.
Yeah? Okay. And this is, when you said this is gonna be sent out, it says via certified mail and email,
Yes,
so it'll be sent out post office,
yes,
USPS, and then by email.
yes.
Okay, and the attorney's gonna do this?
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay. That's my thoughts on that.
Okay. Brett?
My thoughts are probably, are we ready to make that decision tonight?
I don't know, you tell me.
As a board?
It is on
I
the
mean, it's-
agenda.
And the reason I say that, I kind of felt like last meeting, we kind of got pushed in quick to make this, get these
Mhm.
bids and proposals without
Mhm.
really discussing it.
Okay. You have 30 days, what do you think?
We have 30 days for waiting.
In other words, you thought about it, mulled it over, chewed on it. Process it. What's your thoughts?
I feel like, to be honest, I feel as a board, we haven't set and fully discussed all of our options.
Okay, let's talk about it then.
You know, I feel like last meeting, we kind of threw it out there that we want to get bids, but we didn't discuss other options.
Okay,
Whether it's possibly hiring another staff member to help, or what other options we have out there. We were kind of put in a spot that we make that decision.
mhm.
Let's go with it, let's get competitive bids. What are other options?
As far as,
Not replacing it and doing that, for instance, because we're looking to terminate.
okay,
What
do
are-
you have any solutions?
That's what I want to know. What's our options? I'm new to it too,
Yeah,
but you guys have been on it for a while. What's our other options? Same thing.
very good question. I'm not sure.
To
But
stay with the town, other options to stay
Yeah.
with the town? I don't know of any other options.
Okay.
I know that going out for competitive bids will save us some money, which we need to do.
Okay,
And we do have options around town where to have our meetings. The PO boxes, we do have phone numbers. As with the town, I have no other options.
The thing is, we're supposed to be a separate entity.
okay,
The feeling I've had ever since I've been on this, which was its inception, is that we have been the redheaded stepchild, and it's not just this administration, but every town administrator up to Kim has always kind of looked down their nose at us and has not given us the due respect that we needed or should have been provided. It was formed because USDA said you will keep this separate entities. It'll be run in separate entities. You'll have separate bank accounts. You'll have separate operating money. We have an agreement with the town to use this building. We pay half the insurance, we pay half of everything in this building. Now then, what we ran into last December was that we had several board meeting members that had a grandchild up at the school going through. We were not given an option as far as another place or another day to meet in this building. That's why we had to meet up at the fellowship hall. But it's not fair as far as I'm concerned. It's
Quite
not.
honestly, we all just experienced that. We could figure out whether or not our calendars work to schedule another meeting. And I would expect staff to accommodate us in requesting the same.
And you just heard what they said.
So if you apply that same standard to the rest of what we've been experiencing for years, you understand where we're coming from.
okay.
Beyond that, I think there is more competent and experienced staff, or I should say, competitive management firms available to better serve the residents who live here. that have seen and currently manage multiple water and sand districts across the county. There's groups who have managed larger budgets than anyone who currently works for us.
I
So
think it would behoove us to look out there and see what's out there. You know.
I'm all for looking out there.
Mhm.
Do we make the decision to vote on this immediately until we get competitive bids, so we can make a,
Well,
that's my question.
So
Laurel said, are we putting the cart before the horse?
Right.
So I don't know. I can't answer that question. But I do know that we need to see what's out there.
Right.
And
I would agree to that.
Yeah.
Let's see what's out there.
And I agree too, that, yeah, if that's what it takes before we actually send this letter out and say, we're going to terminate you. Is there anything in the agreement that says if you send this letter out, that's a set in concrete that we're gonna terminate no matter what, in 90 days?
So I think we have the ability to allow the town to bid through the RFP process, just like any other group.
Oh, okay.
Beyond that, I think this sends a strong message to both the town and staff that we were unhappy with the current situation.
and I know you got grandkids just like me, and you know, you're gonna pick the grandkids before you're gonna pick this meeting.
Right.
So, and that's what our other members did.
So do we wanna wait and look at some of the RFPs that come in, look them over?
I think that's
Next
better.
month, we decide the 90-day.
I think that the 90 days is already a very long. That's a full quarter. Again, I don't like negotiating with staff as to whether or not they can look at their calendars. I don't think anyone is being served by us potentially have to meet again because they can't tell us whether or not they're free on a certain night when we all can distance it. If the board chooses not to vote that way, understood, but it's on the agenda. We've been talking about this for a long time.
No,
If
we're
we
only talking
choose.
about 6 months or 30 days.
It has been much longer than that,
Well, that's all.
Well, that's all we know about. That's all we've
Understood.
been involved.
but there is history behind it.
Okay, I was never aware of it.
No, well, I guess that's what I was gonna follow up with.
Mhm.
This has been going on so long.
It has.
Why is it taking this long to make this move?
Very good question. Should we have done it last year? I think at that time, we still needed, coaching from, legal counsel.
Okay.
It was one of those things, what determines separation?
Right.
George first told me, he said, no, it's gotta be pretty much if they were negligent in, paying the, debt. Other than that, no. But after what George saw last month, he said, you have cause. So,
So we are not taking the most aggressive step, which would be to terminate, call for a vote to terminate with cause.
I don't know,
That is
unless-
the most.
Yeah, so.
yeah,
Correct. So I think the discussion on the table now is whether we effectively allow the town some cover as opposed to calling them out for what the former president put in the record at the last meeting.
The former president, what do you mean?
The former president of the Water Authority read into the record, that's what was added to the minutes,
No,
which justify terminating for cause.
Charlene, what do you think? Or I'm sorry,
Charlene.
Laurel. Why are you Charlene? I don't
I
know.
don't know either. I don't think that's my name.
Turn it around so I can see.
Okay.
Thank you. What do you think?
Well, based on what I've experienced, because I've only been on the board 3 months, I would like to see us get some more bids in before we send this letter. That's just my feeling. Because like I said, I haven't experienced what you are saying that has
Sure.
happened. So I can't make a decision based on something that I was not privy to.
Oh, absolutely, I understand.
I haven't been here then.
You try to give someone the benefit of the doubt, and
Right,
so absolutely.
yeah.
Brett, what do you think?
I would agree with Laurel on that, but if you guys wanna go with the 90 days, there's no turning back. If we vote on that tonight, and you're not happy with the bids or the people that we get, there's no turning back.
Right?
What do you mean there's no turning back?
Because you're already giving it to them that we're terminating them. We're giving them 90 days that they're getting terminated. So that's gonna be put in. So that means if we ain't happy with bids or we ain't happy with the management or whatever, then we're stuck with what we're gonna get down the road.
So I still think we can re-enter a contract with the town.
Even if you give the 90 day, or if you send a letter to them terminating the operating agreement with the town, we can
Let
renegotiate.
me restate that. We would have the ability to renegotiate an operating agreement with the town.
Well, I guess my thoughts behind that would be is I'm looking at it as me, if you sent me a letter that I'm getting terminated, I'd probably have a hard time coming back to renegotiate it. Just in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, I would
So
definitely.
that's my thought.
Understood.
Whether, if someone said something, say they're gonna terminate me, I'll probably turn my nose up a little bit, be pretty sour towards it.
I think the noses have already been turned up towards us.
So, yeah. All right, do you want to vote? I will entertain a motion.
Can I just say something?
Absolutely.
So, what if we look at the RFPs for another month? I know you don't wanna wait. Just together under our feet, what we can have, what we can get. At the next meeting, we vote on the 90 days. If we like what we're seeing. So that you guys don't feel rushed. And we look at some RFPs. I could say we move the 90 days to next meeting. That's my thought. There's so.
Do you want to table it till the next meeting?
That is my thought, just my thought.
I agree with that, because I don't like rushing into things that
Sure,
we're gonna
absolutely.
go around and say, oh, now we screwed up and now we've got nothing.
Okay,
So how many bids have we gotten so far?
So I've received one proposal so far. And another group who has indicated that they would also like to serve this authority. And that is just me reaching out to people so that we can test the waters before the RFP went out.
So we haven't had any bids from the newspaper article, the
No,
newspaper?
it's only been out 5 days.
Right, okay, so then we definitely don't wanna be rushing into this. That isn't, 5 days is not giving us any time to get any bids in, I think.
No, we have 90 days.
No, but that's after we've actually given notice and then we don't have any recourse. I mean, like you said, you could renegotiate if you want, but like Brett said, I don't think I'd be interested in renegotiating if somebody did this to me. So I feel we should, like Teresa said, let's not rush into this and cut our nose off to spite our face.
So then what I would probably ask for is then if we want to continue and wait for more bids, we terminate for cause at the next meeting.
I don't know, it gives us 10 days.
So we can terminate for cause with a longer term.
Yes, not necessarily,
So we could do it on 30 days or 60 days or 90 days.
Oh, so it's not just
Yeah.
stuck to 10.
So the catch being, if I was staff, I would not want to be terminated for cause.
so we're gonna table this till,
So here's an argument against it. One, we seem to be ripping about $5,000 to $10,000 per month in legal bills to respond to actions by the town. Beyond that, as you guys saw today, I think there's an issue with staff serving the current authority. Beyond that, well, if you go back to Debbie's letter, there's a laundry list of items that would just rise to the level of cause, such as failure to bill water and sewer taps, failure to maintain the records. Those are two that come to mind, but you can go back to the letter. Beyond that, as we are going through the grant process, and there's $1 million at stake.
Yeah.
I would much prefer to see a group with a higher level of resumes involved, execute on that and try to get to a redundant well sooner rather than later. Beyond that, I do think that the town has continued to raise issues. And interfere with the authority's authority. I think if we continue this longer, that will continue, we will spend more money.
I understand your concerns and good points, but I think I will agree with you two as of now. Let's get our ducks in a row and,
We have 30 days to get RFPs,
yep,
and we'll take what we have and decide.
yep,
And we can term for cause,
yep.
not 10 days, it'll be 30, 60. So we will decide.
You wanna put that in motion?
Well, first, any concerns on your side?
I would still think we need to give a little more than 30 days. I mean, use another
No,
30
wait, you need 30 days to process this?
to get more bids.
Okay. So when we come back next month, this is gonna be back on here. Will you guys have an opinion, one way or the other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either we
Alright.
wanna continue it another 30 days or we're gonna vote on it or whatever.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of bids we.
Yeah, cause that's the main thing, the reason why we're waiting, and giving more time is we wanna see if we're getting any bids. And if we're not getting any bids, then that kinda tells you like the well's dry. We're not gonna get, are we, like I said, are we getting rid of somebody that knows how to do all this and can do it? And are we just gonna be left out in the cold with nobody doing this?
I would argue that we don't have a group that is competently managing on our behalf now.
I say to stay with, we can keep beating it tonight.
Is that a motion?
I'll make a motion to table it for next week.
I second it.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, we'll table this till next. So. All right. Yokes, water leaks.
Yeah,
Uh,
you guys had some questions about the yokes and who was responsible.
I think more of the, review and, refresh everybody, because we were arguing about something that we'd already voted on several.
Right, so I did pull up the September 2021 minutes where, it was talking about the yokes and who was responsible for them. So I highlighted that, and then I did, and I don't know why that one printed small, but, I did include, because you guys had looked at Perry Park about some of their things, so I just included their, stuff about the meters and the yokes and where they come in and go, and, cause the yoke and the meter are all one piece basically, and so where it comes in, like Paul had said, from the main into versus out.
Okay.
But based on the September 2021 records that I pulled up, it was agreed that KWWA would pay for the yokes. So,
All right. I think just gotta reiterate and keep that in the back of your mind, next time a yoke comes up leaking.
Yeah.
So, all right, I think we need to vote on the the hydrant flushing. That we're gonna pay Paul to do it for $2,300.
And is that just once a year or how many times a year are they doing this?
I think he said once a year
Okay.
in the summertime.
yeah, he said, he was
Is Paul
thinking,
still on?
yes, it looks like he's still there.
But it is one company now.
Paul, are you still there? Yeah, okay, it looks like
Yes.
he's,
Yes, it is once a year.
And for $2,300?
Correct.
Okay,
How many hydrants does Kiowa have? To flush?
I'd have to go back and count. I think
Oh.
there's 65 or 70, somewhere in there, but I'd have to go back and count.
Well, I'm just curious, cause I had no clue.
right,
That's a lot.
that's quite a few. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to pay Paul the $2,300 for, is
So moved.
there a second?
One second.
All those in favor say aye.
Right?
Motion passed. Okay. I don't know if there's something about this we need to talk about.
Yes, I brought this in, I would like all our Zoom video meetings being posted to our website from
Okay,
now on.
so-
And go back as far as we can.
Okay, address. Oh, you're gonna hand that
Yeah.
out to them?
if you wanna take on and pass it down.
As it is part of the open meeting package.
Yeah, there's two different things, yes.
So what you're handing out to you is letters from our web designer. Okay, addressing that request as well as the absence of some records that has been noted during public comment in previous meetings. If you look at the March 17th, 2024 letter, wherein our web designer states, in evaluating your website for usability and accessibility, I'm recommending that you consider reducing the amount of archived documents currently available on your website. Those interested in those such documents can request them through your office, whether it be a Quora or another method. Most of my government clients post current year plus the previous 1 or 2 years back and have found that to still be more than what they are legislatively required to make available, but also manageable in remediating those documents to meet the requirements of House Bill 21-1110. Remediating additional years of documents likely will prove to be a poor use of funds, as the documents can be remediated upon request more efficiently and cost effectively. Now, if you go to the April 3rd, 2024, when you're referring to the videos that you're requesting to have posted to the town of Kiowa's website. In evaluating your request to post videos to your website, I wanted to let you know about a few issues that would need to be solved prior to doing so. The system limits each video file to a size of 256 megabytes. For reference, I have a 23-minute meeting recording that is 1.1 gigabytes, which is more than 4 times the allowed limit. So the videos would have to be uploaded in pieces and likely would affect the user experience. Another consideration is the new House Bill, again, 21-1110, that effectively goes into effect July 1st, 2024. It requires that all digital products are made accessible. For videos, that would mean adding closed captions, providing a transcript, and possibly interspersing narration into the video, depending on the type of video recorded. This would incur a significant cost in doing so. However, not remediating the videos would open us up to litigation. I would also like to make it noted that in your operating agreement, I have found nowhere in the operating agreement where we have given dedication to the town of Kiowa's website to the Kiowa Water and Wastewater Authority. We have just always allowed a page on our website to be dedicated to the Water Authority. But in no form or fashion have we collected payment from you for the updating monthly of your minutes and your agendas, which we pay this web designer to add to the website. And we have not billed the authority for that. We also have nothing in the operating agreement about our social media pages, but they have always been utilized without question or discussion for both of the entities.
So you don't feel that the $5,500 covers any of that?
This right here is a major undertaking. And she accidentally sent me an invoice the other day for another entity that she's having to go through this remediation for. And bill them $23,000 to bring them current with House Bill 21-1110. No, the town is not willing to incur that debt to add the water authority's videos on there.
They're all stored in the Zoom, like
They're all-
where we are. We have all the videos. They are stored on the Zoom platform. So all you have to do is request them,
They're all available.
and then I just have to download them.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're all available. If I scroll back through, I can't do it because it's up, but
But we have to pay $10 and fill out a form.
to pay for the jump drive, yes.
To put it on a thumb drive.
To put it
yes.
on a thumb
We
drive.
can't just take the
The files are,
off the street, their personal thumb.
the files are too big to just email. So, that's why we download them to a jump drive,
Okay.
but they're all there. They're all stored on the Zoom platform, so.
Well, that answers that question.
I think we're finally done. I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So
All right, moved in second to adjourn this meeting. All those in favor say aye.
7:34.
Recording stopped.
I may have another option of this. To me.
Yeah.